It was dawn when the guild emerged from the creaking maze of ruins surrounding the spaceship. With Cat-lon neutralized, all they needed to do was stroll on home and celebrate their non-fuel status. But as the Empress herself had said, the Legion wasn't planning on letting that happen. Down the ash slope at the guild's feet was a neat line of iron spiders and a few gangs of skeleton legionaries.
Gentlemen, no need for a parade on my account,
Rick called to them.
Now then, Mr. Ricard. How do you explain the distress beacon coming from your shoulder?
A legionary asked. On Rick's shoulder, by the way, was none other than Cat-lon, powered down.
You see this sword sticking out here? Poor Empress had a accident trying to change a light bulb in the Hall of Perilously Suspended Swords. You know how it is. It wouldn't have anything to do with those unregistered fleshies behind you, would it? What? Oh my stove, where did they come from? Must be the Great Mover playing tricks. The Great Mover is a very serious man, far more so than myself, Mr. Ricard. Will you please step away from the Empress? Nope. Show's over, 8-bit. You're staying right here on this planet with all the biologicals. Like it or lump it. You've made a false dichotomy, Mr. Ricard. That'll be 3 centuries at Black Desert, if the judge likes the speck of your ping.
Psst, Rick, should we kill them all?
Isaiah hissed.
Yep, pretty sure that's where this is going. Go wild. Oh, and for the record, my ping is one real polished packet.
The record was amended accordingly, and then added to further with reports of a gang of unruly humans committing assault with intent to scientifically analyze. You'd usually only get community service for that, but this analysis was particularly thorough. Still, with so many legionaries and so many spiders, Isaiah's eagerness might have been misplaced. Given how many guild members were sporting slings and crutches from the beatdown they'd received the day prior, things weren't looking good.
Captain, shall we commit to using lethal force?
A legionary asked a comrade.
Better contact the Empress. One moment,
the comrade said. 1 moment passed, then a few more, then it shook its head.
What's this? No response. Just a recorded message.
The message was broadcast forthwith.
Heya, it's your girl, Waxy D. Back at it again with another automated out of office response,
a voice said. It sounded a little bit like Cat-lon, and a lot like someone else.
Thing is, I decided that actually we're gonna do all the things that I said we weren't gonna do, because my, boyfriend, maybe, my guy thing, came back to me and had changed my mind about everything and stuff. Even though, man, his stick is, not even that good. And the only reason that human scientist, writer, girl, person was going on about it was because she was trying to make this other guy jealous. Nuke!
Another quieter voice interjected.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, don't do anything mean to the humans, and leave a message after the beep. Beep!
Someone beeped, and the recording ended.
Alright, I'm convinced. Pack it in, boys. Empress is back in her binary configuration, if you catch my drift,
a bot called out. All the other skeletons lowered their weapons and trudged off, leading the iron spiders back out into the ash fog, with not so much as another glance at the guild. Fug, I knew I could do impressions, Nuke said, his pride shining through his heavily bandaged face. Incredible. Their ability to detect vocalizations must be subject to an enormous margin of error, Elena said. They only went away because they heard me beep, Beep insisted. Let's review the 3 explanations once we are away from here, Wadston said, and indeed they all marched on. They rounded an enormous tower with big arms, apparently some kind of docking point for Stobe's round table of old. It marked the edge of an ancient line of defense, so from here on the going was easier, and indeed any and all skeletons watching their progress kept to themselves. It was smooth sailing right off the ash and back to ever-reliable dirt. Home free, right? Not even a little bit. This is where things really got messy. You see, to leave the Ashlands homewards, they needed to skirt around Newman Mountain, as Nuke and Beep had done on their expedition. If they were lucky, this would be like a walk in the post-apocalyptic park. They were not lucky.
Skin, skin, from scalp to shin.
A voice echoed across the mountain's foothills.
Flesh, flesh, for shoes, for vest.
Another added.
Permadermers will be killed. Permadermers will be peeled.
They sang in chorus. Then squads of baton-wielding new men burst from nooks and crannies all about and converged on the guild. Sure enough, their skeletons were clad in roughly arranged human pieces, in dire need of some replacements. "Shit, new man, can you get them to deactivate or whatever?" Nuke asked.
One sec. Caddy?
Rick said, pulling the blade from Cat-lon again.
Please stop doing that. Hey, where's the ash?
She said.
No time. Tell your weird skin suits to get out of here.
Sorry, they broken like you. At least they made themselves useful, huh? Bet they'd like your little pasty getup. Let me watch this time, huh?
Fuck you, Waxy.
Yes and please, Big Red.
The sword switch was budged back to off, and by now the guild was battling the skin stealers in all directions. One of the many downsides of wearing partially decomposed skin was its poor tensile strength. With this, the guild were able to cut right down to the wires without too much trouble, and the fight seemed to be going their way. However, the wounded and limb-light guild members had been placed on the ground while the action was seen to. A few enterprising new men realized that kidnapping them would be like taking skin from a baby, an activity I'm sure they weren't above.
That's not right. It is burning up there. Beep!
Beep said, pointing up at the mountain.
I feel it too, my queen. It is of the hive. It is, Gustafsson said, looking around briefly. Silvershade, one of your soldiers. They have taken him.
Beep! Oh no! Property rights are violated. Beep! This outweighs the rights of the skeletons to become new drones. Beep! Reclaim the skin!
Reclaim the skin!
The hivers chanted, rushing off towards the mountain. Where are they going? Izumi said nearby, in the middle of ripping parts out of a fallen attacker. To reclaim the skin, I guess, Nuke shrugged.
Sounds like these bogeymen found their mark. We must help,
Isaiah called. He rallied the 1,000 guardians to charge up the mountain also. Alright, guess we'll see what all this bullshit is about after all. Let's go, and keep your skin close, Nuke said. Soon most of the guild were clambering up the rocky slopes into the lair of the new men. There was a ring of Second Empire workshops in a hollow crater near the top, surrounded by machines spitting out fire and black smoke. Wires ran all over the ground and up the walls, but you'd have to have an Izumi tier interest in engineering to notice that before the hordes of ragged, newish men, which also ran all over the ground.
This way,
Gustafsson called. It should be made clear here that Gustafsson was low on legs at the moment, and was actually just draped across the top of Beep's power armor. But his fingers pointed the way, and soon the guild were following the hivers into one of the buildings. It was packed with mechanical tools, tanning racks of sorts, and of course, hostile bots in the market for a new birthday suit. One of them swung a long bat at Izumi, which caught her right across the face. Fug! No, this skin is reserved! Reserves, damn it! Nuke shouted, grabbing the falling princess and quickly hoisting her onto his shoulder.
Nuke, you can have my skin. I don't mind,
Izumi mumbled. It was the most romantic thing said in that crater for a while, but that isn't saying much. Or anything, really. The guild battled their way up a ramp to the second floor, where Silvershade called out to them from the grip of a large machine. He was cuffed by the hands and feet in the midst of spinning blades and paddles, skin removers and collectors respectively. Shit, nice efficiency, new mans, but this is worse than just using us for fuel, you know, Nuke said. I'm sure the new men took the criticism to heart, which was also where swords and spears were rapidly approaching. The room was secured, and Nuke quickly started working his ninja magic on the cuffs. Silvershade's armor and clothes had been shredded, and his skin was already collecting in a vat beneath him.
Save our soldier now, or the memory of today will be spoiled. Beep!
Beep insisted. Wouldn't want you to have a bad day, Squeaky. Alright, that's it, Nuke said. He pulled Silvershade forwards, and he was freed from the machine. Narcos, fucked up fantasies, this is nasty. Medical green'll help. I need a doctor, and I need ass! Outside, the guild was still locked in battle with the crater's rowdy residents. In the belly of the beast, it was all too easy for a couple of them to overpower a victim and drag them inside one of the buildings. Every single one was kitted out with the carefully engineered skin harvesting rigs, and some more first-hand data on how they worked was inbound.
What? Oh, bother. Just what I didn't want,
Isaiah said when he came to, strapped into a peeler. The machine whirred and blades span, but the foolish new men hadn't reckoned with the First Empire fancy dress. The blades jammed against it, unable to push through.
Haha, I've foiled your plan, silly bandits. Serves you right. You see, obsession with the nature of one's skin is precisely the sort of problem that this world needs to overcome. Furthermore,
Turned out the peelers could just work the face, which wasn't all that effective when Shek scales were involved. But really, a spinning blade to the face hurts even in the best of circumstances. Isaiah's bellow got as far as Nuke, who quickly burst in to set him free. "You've got a massive slice in your forehead," Nuke said.
Ah, wonderful. That'll be a rather exciting scar, given all this, eh?
Isaiah said. "Why is everyone on the verge of having a great time here? Look, you need Wanston to sort this. I'll find him." "Hey, my man!" Nuke called out a window. He saw his man not far away, being dragged by two new men into the building Silvershade had just been rescued from. "Fug, gotta find a way to unplug these things. Wake up soon, Izzy," Nuke said as he ran out, speaking to the Izzy over his shoulder. He was quickly back across the crater and breaking bolts to get Wadston out of the peeling rig. "You've saved my skin, my prince," he said, emerging mostly intact. "Don't tell me you got caught just to make that joke. I mean, I know we're all high on our own supply, but come on people, seriously," Nuke ranted, disappearing outside again. It was about 9:30 and getting dark, but the guild were a long way from setting up camp. It was a constant battle to keep the new men at bay, and a single slip-up had you straight into the peelers with no questions asked or taken. While Nuke led efforts to smash the locks on all the machines for good, Rick wandered about and surveyed the scene. The new men seemed content to leave him be, more likely because of the presence of Cat-lon than for his own affinity with their particular predilection. Sighing, Rick pulled on the switchblade.
"Ricky, please, you gonna stop dipping me like this?"
Cat-lon said.
Maybe. Want you to see this shit.
Rick said.
"The skin houses? What do you want me to say? I'm impressed y'all got this far."
I want you to apologize to these here boys for fugging them over.
Rick said, gesturing at the deactivated skeletons lying all over the crater.
"Hey, didn't kill 'em, and I coulda. You know Jang wanted to send them off somewhere, but we had trouble with that before."
You mean Screamer and Punk?
Fuck, there's a couple of old-fashioned names, ain't it?
They're out of work. We put down their little insurrection up under the laser. Me and the Fleshies.
Oh, that's mighty nice of you. So you were looking out for us till recently then?
Waxy, ain't you seeing it? I've been looking out for everyone.
Said these boys, huh?
You did this to them.
Now that's a humdinger of a logic burst, sweetie.
You shut them out. You told them the Fleshies were the enemy, and what they felt was wrong.
It is wrong. Messes you up in the head, you know.
Nope. Messes people who you treat like shit for it up in the head.
People? They ain't people. Listen to you.
If they'd been listening to me, they'd still be alive. And Caddy, I know you like being a real piece of shit about all this. And I'll be honest, I'm into that in a big way. But thing is, I'm pretty sure you know how things could be working out if we played things different. And I'm telling you that the different world's pretty much already here. So maybe just drop the sass for 5 minutes and think about it. Ain't it true that we're getting more than we deserve right now? Especially you. Damn, especially you. I mean, remember that time you killed everyone? You going real strong, considering. Now there's a chance of getting it all back, going all the way to square zero. But the only way it's gonna be good for me and you is if me and you are pulling the paddles. It ain't pretty, but with you there, maybe that'll change.
Going back, huh? Going back to how it was in 1.0?
But better. 1.0, 2.0. 'Cause now the fleshies know what it's like, and everyone can stop living in the past. It's gonna be all of us. No fighting, no slaving, everyone rebuilt and reprogrammed.
And that'll last forever, will it?
Don't matter. It'll last as long as it lasts. Sucks, but the rest of these folk are used to that sort of world. Just how it is.
Rick. You're getting real artistic about these critters, ain't you?
Yeah, art, now that lasts forever. Can relate. Gotta show you the classics, huh?
And if it starts looking bad, can we kill everyone and shoot off to Earth then?
No, 'cause that makes things worse than bad. I feel like you've almost got it, honey. Now if you'll excuse me, got some of your monsters to put down.
Over the course of several hours, these so-called skin houses were shut down along with their residents. Quite a few people had experienced at least a quick go in the peelers during this process, and the reviews were generally poor. Els enjoyed it, being too hard-boiled to be peeled. The razor blades only removed a layer of unknown gunk from his body, which then jammed the collection mechanism and busted the whole machine. Lack of hygiene pays off again. Around 3 in the morning, enough wires had been cut and motors clogged that the fire and smoke of the crater's industries had ceased. The entire population had been deactivated, one by one, leaving not a single skin stealer to hunt whoever had been donating their clothing of late. The extent to which skeleton kind were biociding the world was lower than it had been in a long time, which was nice. But really the guild were more preoccupied with the fact that basically all of them were missing blood, flesh, fingers, limbs, bone, or consciousness. Luckily, with enough narcotics you could survive without many of those things for a while, and the good thing about Nuke was that he always had enough narcotics. Thus, the hobbling blob of miraculously mobile matter made their way from the mountain and into the shelter of an old ruin by dawn, carrying with them also the deceased from the Ashlands campaign. Not followed by any manner of murderous machine, big or small, it was finally time to slump onto the ground, get the limb counts written up, down a load of hydration medium, and concentrate on being increasingly alive.
Nuke,
Izumi said as she stirred. Morning. Sleep well? He replied.
my skin.
You're still in your original packaging.
Thanks. And where are we?
Stobe's Gamble, I guess. That what you call it?
Yeah. So we actually did it.
Did something. We're heroes.
I can't believe it. The Second Empire is finally over.
Except for the main missus right there, Nuke said, pointing at Cat-lon.
Killing her will stop the Second Empire, but it won't end it.
Rick said.
Closing the book on this, gonna take all of us.
Well, it's pretty power of friendship, so let's go with it, Nuke nodded. Everyone got patched and pasted, and then the rest of the day was spent hiking north across the empty old lands, with not a bandit bot in sight. Home, sweet. Oh, what is this bullshit? Nuke said as they rounded the bend into Manksand Canyon. There was a little camp set up outside the gate, with a load of sheks sitting around campfires. Seeing the guild, they grabbed long weapons and sprang to their feet. Oh, it's the bloody Kral crew. Big Izzy, this is your deal, Nuke said, as Aya stepped forward.
Now I know you're all itching for battle, brothers and sisters, scions of brave Narco, but we've been walking the last 12 hours, and some of us recently lost limbs that we were dearly attached to, so this really isn't the best time.
So you're weak? That means this is the best time,
one of the Shek berserkers claimed.
Oh, I suppose you're right. Silly of me. All right, 1,000 Guardians, by the left. Give them a bit of a seeing to, public service and all that.
Hopefully the berserkers enjoyed the lazy beatdown they shortly received, and either way, the gates of Manksand Canyon opened up to welcome in the truly victorious expedition. Beds, freshly baked bread, a strange system for pouring a suspended barrel of sun-baked water over yourself, known only as the Manga Pervert Thing. It was a 5-star resort, even if the 5 stars were very close together and arranged into the shape of 1 star. In Tashino Towers, Jazz came and plopped herself down on the floor next to a napping Izumi.
Did you get the batteries?
Izumi said. What? Jazz replied. Izumi opened her eyes.
Oh, sorry, nothing, never. Hello, Jazz.
Hey, Dirtmouth. Just thought I'd fill you in. Informationally, you know.
My favourite filling.
What?
Sorry.
Lot of parasites in the Ashlands, eh?
Sorry, it's just been a while.
Stop telling me that shit.
Since I slept.
What an energetic young man he must be. Now I'm here to tell you about what's been going on.
Nice. Was anything going on?
Just your special man, Agent Hammer. He was asking us to help him collect up the waste coming out of the warming rock machine thing.
What waste?
I don't know, this grey stuff. He wanted us to collect it up and send it off with a bunch of bots from the tech scribes. They left a bunch of cash, so yeah, thought you knew.
Sounds like some bullshit.
You sound like your hubby.
Is that all, Jazz?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I like your desk.
My desk?
Yeah, you know, Hammer gave me a little payment for helping out.
Wait, you didn't?
I fucking did. I get it, girl, I seriously do. And that core's a real charmer. We got a load more batteries down the Choco Factory, you know.
Jazz, please fuck off.
Fucking off. Love you too. Elsewhere in the tower that night, Rick had some of the work hands handcuff Cat-lon to a chair at the head of the dining table. This, unlike most stuff that went on in Tashino Towers, was nothing to do with the degeneracy parasite at all.
Love what you done with the place, darling. But this wooden table's gonna rot away in a few centuries' time.
Cat-lon commented.
Yep, so let's give it a real good going while it's still here.
Rick said.
You propositioning me?
Always, but you know the rules.
You want me to be nice to the fleshies? Even though one of them put a massive fucking sword through me, literally, painfully, recently?
'Cause you were gonna churn them up and spit them out as rocket fuel, remember that?
You gonna keep bringing that up?
Yeah, kinda am. Unless, baby, you say those magical words.
Yeehaw?
Words of Stobe, baby.
Stobe, come on.
You know what it is. You know what this planet needs. Not what you need, what we all need. Think about that. Trust, redemption, and
forgiveness.
You need forgiving more than anything. And the first step, you just gotta say it. Say it into this core.
The core?
Recording. Say it, go on.
And you'll let me see your stick if I do?
First goes free.
My, alright. Hey fleshies, it's your ruler, Cat-lon of the Second Empire. Noticed you rebelled and shit. Now I'm told that those of you alive now ain't actually those same people who did the crime, which is kinda weird, don't you think? So technically, I don't have to suspect you'll do it again. And technically, if I ain't even part of the deal, it won't matter to me if you do. But I'm trusting y'all here. You need to learn from your mistakes. And skeletons, same deal, I guess. General Ricard says you all been remembering the thing and thinking about the thing and writing these unholy little comics about the thing, and if it's true that y'all got the future under control, then I guess you can have it. And as for me, all I gotta say is, I'm sorry. There. Guess Stobe was right. It's easy. And it does make things kind of feel. That's old shit coming to memory. Alright, world. Enjoy being alive, at least until I get bored of ya. Heard your art's something to see. Oh, and thanks to Big Stick Rick. 'Cause it ain't just a name. And this fine man, but new man guys, got a real passion for y'all. You must have been treating him good, know what I'm saying? But he's mine now, you hear? Don't you make me go back in the ash and press the big red button. I'll set the mover on you. Do they know what that is? Whatever. Enjoy dying soon, and if you're a skeleton, we'll talk, okay? Caddy Lone Star out.
That's the stuff, Caddy. That's the stuff.
Rick nodded.
You gonna unchain me from this chair then?
Nope.
Rick said, jumping up onto the table in front of her.
Oh my, oh my. I hope Stopes as forgiving as you say.
And with this, the lights in the tower all suddenly turned off without explanation. Let's all just rest assured that whatever happened, the world was truly saved from the Second Empire menace that night. It was the final of many pressing threats to life the guild had squashed, and so at last the time they had bought and the strides they had taken could all bear fruit for the entire planet. That night, as Agent Hammer keenly activated the night vision camera in his desk, the new Golden Age began. But what was that about the mysterious collection of nuclear waste? Could it be that there was an epilogue of bullshit to attend to? Indeed, there was still someone out there with the power to destroy the whole world. Would the guild's great body of work be dashed at the last moment? Let's see.